Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schulze. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you another one of my recipes for smoked spare ribs. Today's version we are going to prepare them sous vide. So join me now as I show you the procedures that I follow to make these succulent, tender, juicy, smoky ribs. First, I'd like to introduce my newest member of the at-home kitchen brigade. This is the Avid Armor USV 32 chamber vacuum sealer. I've owned many chamber vacuum sealers over the years, for 20 years now. And the thing that I love the most about this one is its size and the price. All of the other ones are so darn heavy and they're considerably more expensive. And when you're looking for a piece of equipment at home, some things need to come into play. Obviously price, that's no matter what you do when you purchase, whether it's for your restaurant or for home use, price is important. Quality is important. Also, you need to be aware of mobility and practicality. When you have a 70-pound piece of equipment in your kitchen, moving it around is a challenge. And most kitchens do not have a dedicated station to do nothing but vacuum seal. Of course, I'm speaking of the at-home kitchen. That's where the Avid Armor is a far better product than the others. For the begin, let's take our pouches, fold the top over to protect it from any debris getting on the ends to help interfere with the proper seal. We'll go ahead and put our ribs into the pouch. What I like to do is use a third pan or something, somewhere I could stand these up, so when I go to pour my brine in, they're not falling all over the place and I don't make a mess. Now that we have the meat into the pouch, let's go ahead and pour our brine into the bag. You don't need an awful lot, simply because it's going to be under pressure and there's definitely going to make, the liquid or brine is definitely going to make contact with the protein. So now that we have it in there, it's time to seal it. In order to seal these pouches with the liquid in, you must be using a chamber vacuum sealer. The one that I'm using is an Avid Armor USV 32. This performs like a professional chamber vacuum sealer, as good as anyone I've ever used in the industry, but it is made for home use. And there you are. Repeat with the remaining pouches. Well, here we are, fresh from the thermal circulator. After 24 hours, let's go ahead and pop these open. Drain off the liquid. Then what I like to do is take a paper towel or any type of towel, cloth one, and go ahead and dry them off. So what we're going to want to do after this is I want to season it with my Smokehouse rub, place it onto a sheet pan with a wire rack, and then into the cooler for about an hour or so. Dry product in the smoker helps adhere smoke better than a wet product. And right now, already tender. Now that we have them seasoned up and from the cooler, Let's go ahead and take them to the smoker. Let's go 225 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. We just want to get as much smoke flavor as possible. These ribs are already tender and pretty much are at fall off the bone stage. Well, there you have the smoked barbecued spare ribs, cooked sous vide. Nice and tender. Look at it, it's falling off the bone. They have a little bit of resistance to it, which on ribs, on pork ribs, I like it that way. I don't want it to be too soft and tender. Not like a beef short rib. Though that's a different story there. I absolutely love those to be fall off the bone. And there we have our nice look from the inside. Well, this is just one more option for when doing pork ribs. The sous vide really adds a nice tenderness to the rib, and also by cooking it 24 hours within that brine, you're actually infusing the flavors at the same time rather than brining for 24 hours and then do the cooking process. The flavor again is fantastic with the apple cider vinegar, has nice acid to it, and then by us finishing it in a real smoker, the development of the smoke, the nice dark color, it's fantastic. I've seen other recipes when doing smoked ribs and sous vide. They are actually adding liquid smoke to the bag. Personally, if you have a smoker and the weather's permitting, use the smoker. I just think it's a much better flavor, and the texture and everything, comes out different. You get the moisture from the sous vide, the long, slow, gentle cooking process, but then once it's in the smoker, the exterior dries out a little bit, and it adds a nice balance of the, somewhat of a char on the exterior from the smoke, and then the tenderness in the center, which is absolutely perfect. Serve these with your favorite barbecue sauce or eat them as is. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Just give you another look at ribs and maybe give you some other ideas on how to prepare them. If you have not already done so, please subscribe, and your comments, questions, feedback is always welcome. Thanks again for joining us. Good later.